Oh, back to Einstein. So, relativity. Anybody know what relativity is? I didn't. I mean, I heard it. I grew up. I went to physics class. Learned. I got. I don't know. I passed. Graduated. Right? But how do I like? And then I thought about, and then I read about relativity and some of the quotes he said. He's like, so one of the quotes he says is like, sitting next to a pretty girl is for an hour feels like a minute, but sitting on a hot coal, for a minute feels like an hour. Like, that's relativity, right? That's a short quote of how he explains relativity. And then I think about, then I say, okay, well, like, what if we applied that relativity to the example I was just talking about with being in the present moment with the song, right? It's like the song ends and we're like, oh no, wait, it's already over. It's like we literally just were in it, thinking about it, feeling the energy of the song, whatever song we love that we're listening to, and then it's over. It's like, oh, okay, and if another good one comes, like, oh man, this is a great set. This DJ's on a roll today, or and that DJ could be Apple Music, it could be Spotify, it could be your own playlist, it could be the universe, it could be FM radio, XM radio, all these things, right? Whatever it is, but the relativity, the relativity element of it is like, could it be that those things that happen quickly in time, that we forget about time. We forget about time. Time goes away. It evaporates. It doesn't apply to our present moment. And so in trying to define the present moment, like, what is the present moment? I couldn't even tell you. Like, I remember, and this just came to me when I was younger. My grandmother had a magnet on a refrigerator. It said something like, I remember it was, oddly enough, it was definitely a yellow magnet. I remember that for sure. Maybe I'll ask my family, see if they remember. But it said something like the past is history, tomorrow's a mystery, today is the present, or today is a gift, and that's why they call it the present, right? And I got goosebumps, so I'm pretty sure that's kind of accurate. so thinking about that, like, what is that, and how do you actually have an awareness as to what the present moment is, so you can actually be in it, so we can be in it, and be in it more frequently, so things just kind of happen in a way in which we might never have expected, and trusting the unknown and being in the moment. And what does that actually mean? And how do you actually do it? And how do you find one of the 50,000 waking moments in the day to make a choice to just be and give yourself credit to say, hey, I did it once today. I chose one moment or one series of 10 seconds to be present. And wow, that's more present than I've been in years. Amazing. Good for you. Like, all right, maybe do 11 seconds tomorrow if you want. If not, that's cool too, and try and give ourselves credit. Say, what? I did that. Oh my God, I didn't. It was great, and just realize. And I think that's part of it, is that we have labels for a lot of things, and labels get put on things in which it immediately, so labels, to me at least, seem, so they're very, very good from an analogy standpoint, to be able to bring perspective and reference to something quickly, so people can say, oh yeah, I understand what that means. So it's amazing for that, because it helps bridge communication and bridge gaps and bring some continuity and coherence to things in a very, very quick way, right? But labels, in another sense, are very limiting. So like, once you get past the reference, sometimes a label for something like creates a limit that doesn't allow us to think beyond that, doesn't allow us to open our awareness to the possibilities that exist, because, oh no, this is what the definition of that is, right? Just like impossibility is just a dictionary definition. That is all it is. That is all it is. It is nothing more. It is nothing more than that, right? And so how do we, so relativity seems to be something in which it in its good moments, it supports the present moment, because we're feeling feelings of of being engaged with something that seems to have usually love at the core. When it has something we hate, like hot coals, oh my God, that was the worst. I burned my hand. It felt like an hour. My it was only 2 seconds. Right? So it's like nature telling us or giving us the opportunity to see like what it is that is potentially destructive or not good, and what it is that's constructive, that we naturally and innately feel joy and feel love and then experience the feeling of happiness. And those are the moments in which relativity gives us the opportunity to feel like it went by so fast. And I think most of us, when we're working, whether we're accomplishing things or whatever, we're like, oh man, that went fast. Well, like those, if you look back, those are probably some of our happiest moments, right? And they go so fast. So relativity says, bye time, go, you're gone. Because you know what? We're trying to be present. And how do we be present? With applying relativity. Like that's the other thing is, we all learn about relativity, but I mean, whoever says, how do you apply that in life to our benefit? How do we apply that in life to our benefit? Is it possible? Does that exist? Well, like, here's a potential to look at it in a way of giving ourselves the opportunity to be more present, giving ourselves the opportunity to be more engaged in every moment. Why not? It might only be 0.01% of today's moments, but tomorrow, if it's 0.02, that's great. That's an improvement. We got 365 days in a year, many, many years in a lifetime, right? So like, let's just one day at a time, it's okay. And we took all the years to get to who we are now. Like we can change, we can change that potentially. That potential exists if we believe it, right? And also the fact that, some people might say, well, like this is who I am and this is what I believe. And that's fine. Everybody, like I said, everybody makes their own choices. Everybody has their own opinions. Everybody has their own life. Everybody's in their own world. Everybody does their own thing. But if we can give ourselves the opportunity to be and to try and improve and to try and see what's possible, like I think many of us, if we're honest, just never gave ourselves the chance. And